The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by the UMass 5 College Credit Union, offering Co-op Advantage checking with cash back on all purchases, plus secure debit card controls, all from the UMass 5 mobile banking app. Insured by NCUA, umass5.coop. The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Northeast Solar, helping customers make the switch to solar for savings, energy security, and tax incentives. Learn more at northeast-solar.com.
Welcome to the Fabulous 413. I'm Khalees Smith.
And I'm Monty Belmonte. Later in the show, Live Music Friday with the genre-mixing grooves of Escaper, who are playing at the Iron Horse in Northampton later tonight.
And we'll bring cheese into the Tina Turner Memorial Wine Thunderdome to explore another North versus South battle in our glasses at Provisions.
But first, a collaborative marvel of innovations.
One that starts with several generations, trees, and truths.
What's worth standing up for? Everything and anything that interferes with the flow of my heartbeat, that causes a tear to run down someone's face, that interferes with someone's flow of life. You're supposed to stand up against all injustices to protect one another. You're supposed to stand up against all injustices. The expression of oneself should never be depressed.
Ever feel different? Good. Being different makes you you, and nobody can change that. Learn to accept yourself. Don't suppress yourself or be depressed when you can learn to express. You and your feelings matter more than you think. I love who you are. Don't change yourself.
Those who are loving are liberated, which is why I left behind my coldness. I exchanged her for a warm hug and a kiss on the forehead, like embodying the remnants of my buenas bendiciones. Those who are loving are liberated, which is why I met survival halfway as she embarked on this unknown journey. Intent to show the world that where we start is not the final destination, so do not worry. Listen to me. See me. We killed that.
We're on Ray Street in Holyoke at the Arts Integration Studio, which is part of the Old Gateway Complex, part of De La Luz Soundstage, and we're going to integrate lots of things, two of which have to do with houses. Treehouses and lighthouses. We're going to talk about a runway in Northampton and devised theater, Truth Tellers Theater Ensemble. Let's all go around and introduce who you all are.
It sounds like we're starting off improv games.
Yeah, it totally is. Quick. Give me a non-geographic location and a profession. Khalees, we already know.
Hey there. Priscilla Kane-Helweg. I am the director of the Arts Integration Studio here in Holyoke.
Ashley Rodriguez, I am the associate teaching artist here at Arts Integration Studio.
Erica Kuster, I'm CEO of Treehouse Foundation.
Holly Mott, marketing, Treehouse Foundation.
Anita Luce Brown, volunteer with the Heroes program from Treehouse.
Abigail Whittier, one of the co-directors of the Heroes Youth Leadership Program.
Holly Ruger, the other co-director of the Heroes Youth Leadership Program, here with baby Sylvia.
The baby on your lap did not want to talk into my microphone.
My name is Mishi Serrano. I'm a part of the Truth Tellers Theater Ensemble, and I'm also an emerging teaching artist here.
And you were on our show before because we came to talk to you at HTC.
Yes, I'm a proud Latinx Studies major as well.
Truth Tellers Theater Ensemble is an intergenerational theater ensemble really focused on youth in foster care, with kinship care, adoption, child protection, Department of Youth Services, life in trauma, right? And this is a devised theater company that is aimed at giving voice to stories of challenges and hope and change and what foster care is, what it isn't, what it can be, what it should be. Stories from the heart, stories of real courage. And we are in our second full year of production this year. So we are performing in 2 weeks.
Woo!
Yeah.
Were you doing like more workshop-y theater things before, in those years, before the 2 years of production?
I retired 3 years ago after a 40-year run as the director of the Enchanted Circle Theater. So
then you had 1 year of retirement, and then for the last 2 years you've been doing this.
6 months of retirement. And Truth Tellers is the second iteration of a program that we did for many years with Enchanted Circle and the Treehouse Foundation.
Let's talk about the Treehouse Foundation. If people aren't familiar with the Treehouse Foundation, not the gigantic brewery that has descended upon South Deerfield, although I did try to convince them to create a fundraising beer for the Treehouse Foundation when they landed here. Crickets. What is the Treehouse Foundation?
Treehouse, we run an intergenerational community in East Hampton, Massachusetts, that is focused on providing support for families parenting kids who've experienced foster care. And we're actually launching communities in Boston and Worcester in upcoming years as well.
The foster system has a lot of issues. It can be really hard to be a foster kid and to be a foster family. This is a community. It takes a village, as Hillary Clinton said, and that you have created a village, literally, in East Hampton, and now it's being replicated elsewhere. Tell us a little bit about some of the successes behind this model that you've seen over how long?
The community has been up and running for 16 years. The organization is a 22-year-old organization. We are really proud of the fact that most of the kids who come through our community end up with permanency. So they're either in kinship care arrangements or they are adopted by the families that are fostering them. So we're able to really anchor kids in community and family.
It's multi-generational. The emphasis is not on just one age limit. It's getting everyone together, building a community. That is also the idea behind this theater.
And that we all learn from each other, and one story leads to another story. And we're, as Maya Angelou said, we are more alike than unalike. The power of an ensemble is we are all supporting each other.
One of the things that is often said around lived experience, and that Treehouse has really tried hard to always incorporate in the way it runs its community, as well as external programs like Heroes and Truth Tellers, is never about us without us. That lived experience leadership is what this Heroes program, and by extension the Truth Tellers Theater Ensemble, is all about. It's the voices of young people and older adults who have really lived through these experiences and want to use their voices to try to bring about change.
Truth Tellers is the theater aspect of it. Tell us more about Heroes.
Heroes is Treehouse's leadership program for mostly teens, sometimes younger, sometimes young adults. Truth Tellers is one of our core programs, but we also do an annual camping trip, culturally inspired outings.
Yeah, we do social nights. We've done life skills things in the past. We'll do like CPR training. We've worked with kids on young adults on getting their resumes together. And it's really just based on the needs of the young people that are like in our sphere at any given time. So we're constantly changing what we're doing to support those young people, and we're always working with adult volunteers.
Now we've talked about like the hubs in this giant wheel. I kind of feel like Charlie Day with that diagram and the strings.
Yeah.
And I knock on her door and I say, Carol! Carol, I gotta talk to you about Pepe!
So now let's talk about some of the connections, because we definitely have three distinct programs here, but how does Devised Theater help your leadership program?
Good question.
Giving youth a platform to speak on their own experiences in ways that is strategic to them. They are encouraged to tell their stories in the way that feels most empowering to them and share the things that they most want to share. Sometimes it's the things that nobody's listened to them say before, or people have denied when they've said them. So it really can be an empowering space for them. Last year, we performed for the Holyoke DCF office for 85 caseworkers, maybe even more. It was very powerful. We also performed for legislators at the State House, and we're doing both of those shows again this May.
The caseworkers are coming to us this year. They're coming to the Divine Theater.
Which is right here on Ray Street.
Exactly. And it's part of their wellness training. If we have time after the Q&A, I'll be leading them through a creative writing activity.
Oh, wow. Force them into theater.
Everyone needs more art in their life, period.
I think that the impact actually has been really phenomenal. Serendipity is something that I firmly believe in. And I was actually, when I met Priscilla and Ashley, I was not supposed to be at this function that they were at. There was a ginormous, it was like a networking event. I had no business being there. I had entered under the impression that I was going to get pizza. My mentor, he was like, you should just go get some food in there. And I remember I was walking the tables and I was blown away by the artistry of like the art and the personalities, like to say the auras, because it was very bright in that corner. But I walked into it completely open-minded. Serendipity, I had our first meeting and I remember feeling so immersed in this experience and the healing. And I ended up losing my grandmother like 2 weeks after our first meeting. And I remember I was like, do I want to continue this? And I came back for the first meeting with the full ensemble to begin working. And I feel like right now you are my rock through grief. Seeing the young people bloom in my relationships with them and being able to build intergenerational relationships has healed parts of me that I didn't think we're hurting. And being able to create art in a space that feels safe and supportive is also so beautiful to recognize and be a part of from the perspective of a young adult in the space, but then also as a mentor, as a mother. It's like a spider web. I feel like wherever I go, I talk about this, and those connections keep growing, and I hope to be a part of the ginormous spider web and get caught in between.
Strings keep going in new places.
The strings are back.
Pepe Sylvia, Pepe Sylvia. I looked in the mail. Well, this whole box is Pepe Sylvia.
More with the amazing team of collaborators behind the Truth Tellers Theater Ensemble next, including how you can support them at an upcoming 5K and where you can see their performances very soon.
Also, we'll sample Italian Reds at Provisions and totally danceable psych rock with Escaper for Live Music Friday.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM. Welcome back to the Fabulous 413. More from the Arts Integration Studio in the Lighthouse Holyoke building on Race Street with folks from the Treehouse Foundation and their Truth Teller and Heroes program.
Anyone who's worked with teens knows they can be like a really hard nut to crack. And we've seen them just open up before our eyes. Like the first, 3 or 4 sessions, they're all quiet and laughing and giggling and not really sharing much. And then with a little bit of love, warmth, embracing, talking with the older adults who volunteer, they're able to really share. And it's just an incredible feeling and thing to witness when these teens share something that you can tell, is a deep, deep wound or a profound thing that they're proud of or something that they just don't share with people very often.
The makeup of the company changes every year then, yes?
Some people stay on year to year, but every year we're looking for new young people to join us who have experience in the child welfare system, pretty much of any kind. So they are welcome and encouraged to join us next fall, but we'll start recruiting this summer.
We are focused on youth's experience. It really is intergenerational, so we have people in their teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s.
I would like to add that coming into Truth Tellers does offer a stipend, so it allows you to get paid as an artist, and you'll be a paid actor or actress. But that's important to know that the work that we do in art doesn't go unnoticed, and it's very valuable to everyone, and you should know your value in life from a very early age, especially through an experience like this where you get to talk about things you've been through and distill change upon other people.
But you don't need to have any acting experience to join us, or any art experience at all.
As one of the older volunteers, tell me your experience working with this ensemble.
I'm a retired high school teacher, and one of the things I learned as a high school teacher was that teenagers have incredible amounts of insight, and a lot of times they can't find anybody that's willing to listen to that insight that they have. So a program like this that I literally fell into in a very interesting way, I met with Holly and Abby when I was going to Treehouse just to find out about volunteer opportunities. And Holly said, well, Truth Tellers starts tomorrow if you want to come. And I didn't even know what Truth Tellers was, honestly, at that point. I hadn't asked very many questions. I said, sure. This is my second year. And, working with the youth that are in this program who have gone through things that it's hard for me to imagine, and still knowing that they have those insights and that if they can get them out and trust adults to share those with people who really need to hear them, I think the impact can be, I can't even imagine how important the impact is going to be.
There is an opportunity to see this if you're a legislator or a social worker, but is there a way for the general public to see this theater that Truth Tellers and Heroes program is putting on?
Funny you should ask. We have 5 shows coming up. Our first show is for caseworkers and social workers DCF on May 8th. The 14th, we will be recording this at Holyoke Media. It is open to the general public. We are performing at the State House on May 21st. We're performing at Springfield Conservatory for the Arts, where I'm a consultant, on the 13th. But our final celebration is really open to the public, which will be here at the Divine Theater on May 22nd. It's a really beautiful, moving piece. I can feel my heart going into my throat just talking about it. The writing that everyone has done, as devised theater is, you're creating it on the spot. It's so brave and courageous and real and full of hope.
How does the work change depending on the setting? you're in a theater now, but you've done it in the State House, you've done it in like non-traditional spaces.
One of the things I've always loved about theater is the relationship with the audience. Depending on the room, depending on who's in the room, how well you slept the night before, it's real. And it's part of what's so transformative about it, I think. So it does change, and that's the importance of creating an ensemble so that you can address the changes. You can expand, you can contract as needed to the space, to the audience, and stay true to the piece.
I think one of the most impactful pieces too is we generally close off with like a question and answer session. And so sometimes the questions are, us asking the performers, what they want to share about the process. And sometimes there's questions from the audience members, but that's really different depending on the audience. So when we performed for DCF last year, some of the performers were like, this is what I want to say off script to these DCF workers, which is very different from what they wanted to say off script to legislators at the State House. So that's a really impactful part of every performance as well.
Yeah, that sounds incredible.
We were also filmed last week with Kate Geis, who's doing a film for the Treehouse, and I was a little nervous, to tell you the truth, how our performers were going to be. These are not polished stage performers, and here's a camera right there. And they rose to it so beautifully.
So we're working with documentary filmmaker Kate Geis to create a video library that really tells the story of life at Treehouse. Because we consistently hear from folks that when they come and visit Treehouse, they get a sense of the magic that exists there, which really isn't magic. It's very intentionally crafted.
The Magic Treehouse is a whole different thing.
I've got a 7-year-old who loves those books.
The treehouse spun faster and faster, then everything was still. Absolutely still.
This video project will set us up to be able to take the experience of Treehouse to folks who are not in Western Massachusetts, who would really benefit from learning about the work.
You have a non-traditional community doing non-traditional theater in a non-traditional school.
Lighthouse here, with the building we're in.
We're not actually connected to Lighthouse.
Right.
So Arts Integration Studio is a separate LLC. We're renters, and we love them.
That's still a non-traditional setup.
Yes.
With non-traditional leadership practices, all kind of compiled in the same place. But what is grounding about building your own practices that you've seen in the participants of these programs?
That alone, just creating the space that we have been able to build with each other anywhere we go, with any population that we work with, whether it's the intergenerational adults, and we have young people, teens, older adults. Like, we create a space that being non-traditional is okay. Being able to start with a very intentional session plan, understanding what we're doing today, and without them knowing, like, hey, we're actually learning skills on communication or social or like acting, we're building this sense of confidence within them to be in a room with all of us and to feel strong enough to be there and to go into the offices or to State House or in a theater and feel supported by the ensemble itself. So everyone comes together and creates a community that you really can't mess up in. Whatever you do, whoever you are, whatever you reflect, it's welcomed and accepted here, and we love that.
Both Treehouse, the community, Treehouse, the staff and leadership, the membership of the community, and by extension, heroes and truth tellers, it's all approached with being trauma-informed, being compassionate listeners, and having an ongoing training and opportunity to reach out and find that mutual support, whether it's through another community member or through a staff member who might be able to connect you with someone. But in a time when the world is so chaotic, we have been rooting so deep in community, in the fundamental, in the beauty of what community really should be. Being able to root in that together and know that, as Ashley said, where conflict arises, we find a path forward. We find a way to connect, to speak across difference, and support one another.
One thing in the theater world is that every theater game we play in warm-up has a purpose, whether it's about intentional listening, whether it's about physical awareness, spatial awareness, communication skills, where one body ends and another begins. It's about creating that community so that we are able to listen across differences and find our similarities and be together.
I feel like I should ask the two people who fell into this. Do you now advocate for this program to your friends to try and get them involved? Are you out
I definitely sure am. I still do events. I just finished publishing my first book, so everywhere I go, thank you so much. Everywhere that I go and I do an event, I talk about who I am, and I can include this as a part of who I am. So yeah, I definitely think this needs to be talked about everywhere we go. This belongs everywhere. We just have to find the funding to put it everywhere, realistically.
Speaking of funding, there is an opportunity to support the Treehouse Foundation in another bonkers-style Western Massachusetts fundraiser, the Runway 5K, which is happening at the Northampton Airport when?
Sunday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you.
Oh man, there's gonna be a lot of stormtroopers running this one. Dude, have you seen the guy that goes around Northampton dressed as the Mandalorian, by the way? Not to be missed. He carries a baby Yoda and plays the Mandalorian theme on some speaker. It's amazing.
Whoa! Yeah. You better be there.
This is the way.
It is open to anybody who wants to walk, run, or just cheer folks on. If you go to treehousefoundation.org, you can find your way through the homepage of our website to the 5K page. And if you don't want to leave the house, and if you don't really like to do those sort of big crowd events, you can also support from your couch by supporting the Truth Tellers team. Our very Truth Tellers here are having a team, and you can support them financially with a donation. We have an anonymous donor who is matching up to $2,500, so we're hoping to help the Truth Tellers reach their $5,000 goal.
We'll be there.
Yes.
Who's running? Anybody?
Oh, we're walking.
Oh yeah, good.
And the Truth Tellers are actually a really beautiful example of where the Runway 5K's fundraising goes, because the Truth Teller Ensemble members, they earn a stipend as ensemble cast members. So they are professional actors, if you will. And that money has to come from somewhere. And transportation to the State House, and just the ability to be in this beautiful space with Priscilla and with the Arts Integration Studio. So that's where dollars can go directly to support these young people and what they're doing.
And all the great snacks we have. Every meeting, we're very proud of ours.
Donate for snacks.
Listen, we don't play about that dried mango, okay?
Thanks again to Priscilla Kane-Helwig, Ashley Rodriguez, Erica Kuster, Holly Mott, Anita Luce Brown, Abigail Whittier, Holly Ruger, and baby Sylvia, and Mishi Serrano.
Find more information about the Runway 5K fundraiser for Treehouse happening on Star Wars Day and the Truth Tellers' upcoming performances at treehousefoundation.org.
Almost time to get our dance on with the extra fun space rock of Escaper.
But we'll dance a little better with a little Len. So off to revisions we go.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by the Handle Factory Community Clay Studio in Shelburne Falls, offering youth summer programs and spring adult classes in pottery and sculpture. HandleFactory.com. The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by UMass Amherst School of Public Policy. Admissions now open for graduate programs in 2025. Learn how to become a changemaker at umass.edu/SPP.
Do you speak any Italian?
Only like
Swears.
Well,
and it's Tanglish.
They'll get a kick out of that. I think.
Yeah.
Some of them, not the serious ones.
I mean, there's a definite difference between Italians and Italian Americans. And I'm solidly Italian American. Yeah. I am not Italian. The Wine Thunderdome has returned to the band room basement of Provisions Northampton, but Provisions is having some exciting things happening. On Saturday, May 3rd, there is the Italian wine tasting, so we're going to do some Italian wine
festival.
Italian wine festival. It's not just it's a full-on festival.
We have food trucks. We have 18 Italian winemakers getting shipped in from Italy.
Wow.
Are they gonna be okay? Last time you missed one, like somebody couldn't make it, or like
There were actually 3. One broke their femur. One of them got very sick a couple days before, and one of them actually made it to the airport only to find that they'd been pickpocketed and their passport had been stolen. Passport
that's
and wallet.
the one I remember.
Wow. Let's hope that drama doesn't last for this one. Let's hope it's more smooth, like in the early 20th century when my grandparents came over from Italy. They just let everybody in at Ellis Island. It's the good old days.
I'm sure that was smooth.
Kind of was, comparatively speaking.
Comparatively speaking, yes.
And you, apart from this Italian Wine Festival on May 3rd, which is at the Amherst store?
Yes, it's at the Mill District provisions.
You have a regular Thursday wine and cheese pairing.
We do, and that's why we're roping Jonah into tasting with us. I'm going to make him choose a cheese that he thinks would pair well with these wines.
Nice, Jonah. And what we do here in the Wine Thunderdome is we taste 2 wines, we talk about them, and then we vote on which one we like the best. So
Try not to say anything too politically incorrect.
Well, I mean, Monty's going to, so if you
help
want to
myself.
join him, that's fine.
I'll follow the lead. Follow the lead.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'll taste the wine, think of a cheese, and that's usually how we figure out the Thursday pairings.
Tell us about your cheese background, Jonah.
Well, I just love cheese. I eat a lot of cheese and really had not much of a cheese background before working here, but I've learned a lot.
He came in with a passion and has quickly become one of the most important mongers at the counter. And he now does all of our Thursday pairings because he has such a good palate.
Well, there you go. That's from your boss, Jonah.
I can't take all the credit.
Take your damn flowers.
You can't make me.
How come we have cheesemongers and fishmongers? We don't have any other types of mongers, really.
I mean, I don't want to go to a beef monger
Beef stroganoff, beef bourguignon, Irish beef stew.
or a meat monger. That seems like it really should be a gay dance club.
I want to go there.
I can think of a couple others,
What other ones?
but I don't want to say on radio.
Oh.
Well, I had this conversation with a customer one time over this very question, and I was sort of dancing around it, but she just came out and said, "Oh, you got."
I forgot about that one. All right, we're going to taste 2 of the Italian wines from 2 of the Italian winemakers who we're hoping are going to be able to make it here for the Italian Wine Fest.
And yeah, we're going from north to south. Why don't we start in the north?
Usually lighter, a little bit less dense, and
If you're looking at these, one is significantly lighter than the other.
Right, so I would guess that this, without even smelling or seeing the label, that this is Nebbiolo mostly.
Man, you guys must be wine professionals.
Nebbiolo is the Pinot Noir of Italy in the sense that it's a very light when it's in its manifestations in the glass. You can see through it.
And this is not Nebbiolo.
What is it?
This is Vespolina. Technically, it's a relative of Nebbiolo. It's been,
Didn't stop them from getting married.
And so we're up in Alto Piedmonte where you can find Vespolina. Really, it's not widely planted outside of Alto Piedmonte at all. And generally, it's just used as a blending grape.
So this is 100% Vespolina?
Vespolina, yep. And so Brigatti...
It's awesome that Vespas are so popular in Italy, too, and the grape is called Vespolina.
They're fun to ride.
Wasp. Is that right? Yeah. Does that have anything to do? Is it because it sounds like a wasp?
They're really fun to drive.
So yeah, you don't get a lot of single varietal Vespolina, and that's sort of what we're focusing on here is grapes that are part of the region's signature blend and not often seen as a single varietal, but we're getting to see them here because the producers that are coming are kind of doing their own thing and wanting to feature these grapes.
It smells funkier than Nebbiolo usually does. There's a definite funk on that.
But we like funk.
We love the funk.
And I feel like there's some pepper spice on the nose here to me.
Yep.
But also like a little bit of bramble, like rosemary stem.
I keep getting like honey grams, like a cereal.
Oh, I
love
that. So Francesco Brigatti
Francesco Rinaldi
is third generation. A little bit of history. Alto Piedmonte was actually one of the most important growing regions in Italy before phylloxera came through and wiped out all the vines.
Which was a louse.
In the sand.
It was our fault, but we also saved it. It's sort of like World War II.
Anyway, Barolo, which is one of the regions that's most famous in Piedmont, is the region that replanted. And Alto Piedmonte took a lot longer to replant. And so as the world got to know these wine regions, Barolo became the king as opposed to Alto Piedmonte. Francesco's grandfather, this area is a big farming area, and he decided to get rid of his cattle and the other vegetable plantings, and I think much to his grandmother's chagrin.
No longer a beef monger.
Beef with broccoli.
And so he planted grapes, and his grandfather and his father both were making wine, but selling it in demijohns to the local community. Francesco was the first one in his family to actually go to college and came back and was like, you know what, I'm going to lean into this thing and really make some serious wine and sell it to the rest of the world. And while he was doing that, he also switched it all over to organic and biodynamic viticulture, and he started focusing on a lot of the indigenous grapes. And so with the Vespolina here, he It's all stainless steel, and it's really meant to showcase that varietal from this region.
And is Francesco the one who will be coming to the Italian Wine Festival on May 3rd?
He will be, and he actually speaks fairly decent English, so he's a good one to talk to.
Nice.
This tastes even brighter than I thought it would in a very good way.
So, Jonah, what cheese would you pair?
100% the Brie d'Alta Longa. So that's Italian Brie style cheese that's made with cows and sheep's milk. Really nice, soft. The one we have is like perfectly ripe right now, and it's just very pillowy and fruity and bright and delectable. I would normally pair it with like a white wine, but I feel like this has the acidic backbone to it that I think would blend really nicely.
Is that Italian-style Brie from this same-ish region?
Well, it's from Piedmont.
From a little south, but yes, whatever grows together too.
That's
so
true. Whatever grows together goes together.
Impressive that was what you picked right off the bat.
I had to Google it real quick to make sure.
That's what information is there for.
Yeah.
Right. Check your sources.
Also, more types of milk in your cheese just makes for better things. Duo and Tre Lattes are like the best.
Wine number 1 again?
The Vespolino. It's actually named Maria after his daughter. So yeah, should we head south?
Let's head south. What's wine number 2 here at Provisions, Northampton? We're looking at the Italian Wine Festival that's happening Saturday, May 3rd at Provisions, North Amherst, and getting excited for all the Italians that are going to come over, create anchor babies like my grandmother.
And I'm Italian.
And this guy, if you come and meet him, it's a couple of brothers that manage this winery, and they're characters.
They're plumbers, they like run around, they stomp mushrooms.
Here we're headed to Sicily, so way down the bottom, different climactically, much warmer.
Yeah.
And I get that right on the nose immediately. There's so much more ripeness to the fruit here. These guys also produce one of my all-time favorite olive oils. It's just insane, and I guarantee they'll have it on the table because every time I've tasted with them, they force you to taste their olive oil as well.
I love it.
Which is not so painful.
No.
It almost smells like brandied cherries.
This one has a lot more baking spice. It smells a little more boozy, a little more incensey, you know,
And
like a Catholic
salty.
mass.
Briny a little bit.
Yeah, it smells very fruity, but it also has this lightness to it. And I think that's partly because it's Frappato. Frappato, as a grape, tends to produce a lighter style wine. It's something that a lot of Pinot Noir drinkers can get into.
Each sip I take of this is like a firework burst. It's like poof.
Yeah, so again, stainless steel, really focusing on the grape Frappato. Frappato typically blended with Nero d'Avola in this area for the common blend. So what cheese would this go with?
The Frappato, I think definitely an Alpine cheese. I think it's got some nice tannic structure to really hold up to a more robust cheese, something crumbly and harder. Maybe a lighter Alpine, kind of like the Alp Blossom, which is like a semi-firm. It's rolled in flowers and herbs. I think could really synergize well with like the sort of incensey spice herb notes of this wine. I'm kind of tempted to go cut a piece now and sort of try it.
We're not going to stop you.
I mean,
You want to go grab some?
If you need to cut the cheese, go cut the cheese.
It's funny that you chose that cheese because my wife, Tony, who's the beverage buyer and director here at Provisions, loves this wine and she loves that cheese.
Jonah, you nailed it again.
Pre-existing connection.
Yeah. Do you want to?
Yeah, go get us cheese.
I'm gonna.
Going back to the first one is so wildly different.
Yeah, now that smells almost candied or like very much sweeter, the first one.
Yes, that bright cherry is really shining through right now.
For sure.
So I made pâté de fruits this week because I was in a mood.
Which is?
Oh, it's like gummies, but you make it with fruit puree and pectin, and it's like you just cook it until it's basically paste, and then you roll it in sugar and you eat it, and it's delicious. No, it's very simple. It takes some time, but it's worthwhile. And I made it with berries, but this now smells like the cook of pâté de fruits.
Here comes the cheese.
Here we go.
Jonah
Pro job here.
Yeah, way to go.
I do get paid for it.
Do you think that this cheese will pair well with both of them?
I think there's a very strong chance. My kind of pairing philosophy is pair two things that you like, and I like both the cheese and both the wines. My guess is that it will pair better with the second one. Yeah, the Frappato.
It's really nice with the Vespolina, and that's not even the one that he was going
Yeah,
for.
it just makes it fruitier.
I'm not gonna lie. I think the cheese makes the wine taste better.
That's the thing. It's a big experience, and I know that there are problems with alcohol, and people have problems with alcohol, and alcohol causes problems. But civilization exists in places where wine has been created, And food and wine is a big part of the human experience. And this is a big part of that experience right now.
If you drink wine where you're thinking about it like this, you're activating your brain in ways that is actually very important as you get older.
Yeah, I go into the woods and I use my wine tasting skills to be like, oh, I smell this. Oh, I smell that. And I never did that before I got into the world of wine. Now I stop and smell the rosés.
Hell yeah.
I think this cheese pairs with both of these wines really, really well.
I agree, but honestly, I think Jonah's right. The second pairing, the Frappato and the Alp Blossom, are so dope together.
Yeah, they become a third taste altogether, while the first one, they both tasted great together. They didn't hurt each other, but they stayed separate. That's when the meld happens, and it comes a third completely different taste. That's when the magic of pairing has happened. Well done, Jonah.
Why, thank you. We do this every Thursday. Come by, check it out.
So now do we have to choose the wine? How did we decide we were going to do this?
I think we kind of all unanimously acclaimed that the cheese goes better with the second one, unless anyone opposed.
I mean, I kind of oppose.
Do you think it goes better with the first one?
But I'm into fruit today. I love the Alp Blossom, and I'm getting a tomato thing from it today that I have not ever gotten from that cheese before. Thanks, hormones.
Frappato, the lineage involves Sangiovese. So Sangiovese is one of its parents somewhere back in the day. Sangiovese is well known for having some tomatoey character. And I definitely see that. I feel like the savoriness of the cheese is making that savory tomatoey thing come out in the wine.
All right, so despite the fact that Khalees disagrees, it's 3-1 on cheese and wine. But what about wine alone? Of these two wines, Vespolina and the Frappato. Both winemakers will be coming Saturday, May 3rd. Provisions, North Amherst. You can meet the winemakers. You can taste the family's olive oil.
You can taste all their wines.
Vespolina versus the Frappato.
I think if I was going to just bring one of these bottles home tonight, I would bring the Vespolina.
Jonah?
I'm going to have to agree with Benson. That's not just because he cuts my checks, but...
He cuts your cheese.
You cut your own cheese.
I cut his cheese.
You're a monger of your own making.
I definitely agree 100%. The Vespolina is, hitting those nice, crisp, bright, juicy, funky, fresh, fun, springtime notes.
You got a vote, Khalees?
Yeah, I like the Vespolina.
You're just sticking Vespolina. You're 100%.
I'm absolutely vibing with this wine. I think it's really, really cool.
It's unanimous. Vespolina, mostly because I never had it before, and I think wine is a part of an experience, and so you can have 100% of an experience that you've never had before. That makes it a fun experience. Frappato is amazing. There's nothing wrong with it. It was delicious. Had it before, though, so this is a brand new experience for me, and that's always fun.
Am I just in a porch drinker era? I wonder when I'm going to get off of this kick.
That's like me with, I keep thinking, I'm over sparkling wines, and I'm like,
No.
I can't quit you.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
You can get tickets to the Italian Wine Festival at Provisions North Amherst location and at provisions.com.
And now we dance with Escaper for Live Music Friday before you can catch them at the Iron Horse tonight.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Real Pickles, a worker-owned cooperative in Greenfield, producing organic fermented vegetables sourced from Northeast farms. More information at realpickles.com. The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Window World of Western Mass, a local family business with experienced craftsmen offering skylights, siding, gutters, and doors. windowworldofwesternma.com.
Welcome back to the Fabulous 413. It's Live Music Friday, and with us is Escaper, a space rock dance band based in New York City.
Escaper was formed in 2015 by Will Hansa as a music collective that pushed creative freedom. Joined in 2017 by Phil Cadet and drummer Sam Crespo and bassist Luke Beeman, adding to their number after the pandemic.
The band has become known for fun and fiery sets throughout Northeast venues and music festivals and has welcomed sit-ins with members of bands such as Disco Biscuits, Brazilian Girls, Thievery Corporation, Rubble Bucket, Turquoise, and more.
The band recently released the EP Spaceship, which was a collaboration with Telefunken Studios, and we're betting that you should stop typing so I can read what it says on that line. That you can maybe pick it up in person tonight when they rock the Iron Horse stage for a late night appearance. Let's hear some live music and live radio for Live Music Friday from our band that has joined us playing the Iron Horse tonight, Escaper.
I see you getting next to me. Ooh, you can't be disrespecting me. I could be your remedy. Ooh, just a distant memory, 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 memory. I see you getting next to me. Ooh, you can't be disrespecting me. I could be your remedy. Ooh, just a distant memory, memory, memory. Got no strings attached. Got no strings attached. Got no strings attached. Got no strings attached. Dive into my water. Now we're treading free. I could be your remedy. Earthly desires won't get the best of me. Or just a distant memory. I dive into my water. And now we're treading free. I could be your remedy. Earthly desires won't get the best of me. Just a distant memory. I see you getting next to me. Ooh, you can't be disrespecting me. Oh no. I could be your remedy. Just a distant memory, memory, got no strings attached. Got no strings attached. Got no strings attached. Got no strings attached. remedy. Or just a distant memory.
So much fun.
Escaper, who are playing the Iron Horse tonight and are playing for us here in the Fabulous 413 for Live Music Friday. They're doing another late show. We had the Friday Night Late Show band last week on the show.
I'm telling you, people need to stay up.
I know. And Loudon Wainwright III is playing their earlier show, who I also love. Totally different vibe than Escaper, but also excellent. So nice night at the Iron Horse. Tonight, full disclosure.
Oh, yes, I have recently joined the board of the Parlor Room. I do not get paid for it, but I'm there to contribute.
Now we all have to do all these full disclosures every time we have guests on that are coming to the things that we are a part of. But that was really awesome, you guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
You mentioned when we were setting you guys up and like sound checking that you were used to some of the disconnect of sound because you've played silent discos. What is it? I've never had a live band play a silent disco. What is that like?
And for those who don't know, what is a silent disco?
So, kind of how it sounds, but at the end of a festival when the grounds have you can't be loud after 11 p.m. or whatever, a way to get around that is to give 600 people headphones. And so we played Northlands Music Festival, which is up in Swansea, New Hampshire. Yeah. We did that the last 2 years. And so 2 years ago was our first time doing this. They asked us to do that. So it was like a midnight to 2 a.m. or something like that set. And so basically, you're all plugging in direct, kind of like this. And our drummer, tonight we have a real drum kit, but we brought our little electronic E-kit with us here. And Sam's been playing that. And so one of the biggest things about this is the drums, and I would say the guitar too, where the guitar usually has an amp with these tubes and makes it all big, is that you can't get that same push of power that you would get with a full live band. However, you can make all kinds of nice sounds, and especially electronically. And so we've really sort of leaned into the more danceable, like Jamtronica type of stuff.
You almost have to play like a producer instead of playing like a live musician.
Yeah. Interesting.
And so it was really fun. I mean, that first time we did the silent disco at Northlands, I wasn't sure if anybody was even going to come to it, if it would sound good. And it sounded great. Thank you to the engineers. And we also, we tried to practice that way. And then there's a sea of these people in headphones. They all have these lights on the headphones. And so they're just...
It was like playing to space aliens.
It was like...
But a lot of them.
It's also like, so I kept taking my headphones off while you were playing because the room is not silent, but it's definitely way different than what's going on the radio and in my headphones. So it's a very strange experience.
Yeah, it's neat.
You hear the vocals only and just a thud of the drum kit.
The hit of stick on the plastic drums is really interesting. Yeah.
I have other questions, but I kind of want to hear another song, so let's outro.
Yeah, we're going to run out of time, and we want to hear more music because we want to dance too. So next week on the Fabulous 413, we'll hear how the kids are approaching poetry in these waning days of National Poetry Month with the editorial staff of The Common.
And we'll explore the intersection of theater, fashion, and equity with the Rainbow Players of Edit International.
And break those rainbows out in Northampton as we get ready for Hampshire Pride.
We'll have music and conversation and practice with the ever-evolving sounds of Jay Wood and the locally rooted guitar of Chris Delmhorst.
And view the extra cool things happening for the third iteration of the East Hampton Film Festival.
Including a very local film.
Yes, a rock and roll film nonetheless.
Indeed.
All right, well, this band playing once again tonight, the Iron Horse, 10:30, after Loudon Wainwright plays earlier, but with Outer Styley, who's another great local band.
With another Monty.
Oh, that's right. Hello, other Monty. I'm Monty Belmonte.
I'm Cleve Smith. We'll talk to you next week on the Fabulous 413, but first, more Escaper.
the rhythm in the soul, I gotta know. Knowing if I got it, can I get it, make it easy for your soul, for your soul. See, wanna feel, take a fantasy, make it real. What you wanna see, wanna feel, take a fantasy, man, make it real. Take it, plan it, let it, with a rhythm in the soul, I gotta know. Knowing if I got it, can I get it, make it easy for your soul, for your soul. Make it real. What you wanna see, what you wanna feel. Take a fantasy, make it real. What you wanna see, what you wanna feel. Take a fantasy, make it real. What you wanna see, what you wanna feel. You take a fantasy, make it real.
Thanks so much. So fun.
Awesome.
We'll be back anytime you want us.
Sweet.
Take that long to get here from New York.
You guys are coming up to like